Hi, Josue. This is your personal reading. Woo! So I'm actually really excited to do this. Before we get started, I want to kind of mention, sort of have these artifacts or like things to help guide me. I plan on doing. Okay, I'm gonna be honest because I forgot another thing. So I'll just be honest with you. This is like the third time that I've started recording, and I like spend 5 minutes getting stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm back, and then like now I'm realizing I forgot another thing. So where is it? I'm gonna pause this time. 1 second. Okay, I found it. So a long time ago, and by a long time ago, it was like pretty much months ago. I used to give myself readings and do some recordings online using my One Piece Uno Tarot deck. Woo! So this is the King of Wands, and there's the Page of Cups. And the One Piece part, I don't know if you know about the series One Piece, but the One Piece part is that there's also these cards in there where it's literally One Piece Uno. So I have both those types mixed in. Anyways, first personal reading we do is going to be using that deck. That's going to represent this over here, this Cup of Aries. Ooh, Justice. I'm going to remember that. I'll let you know this cup, it's got orange soda in it. I do want to let you know, so you don't like worry, that I am aware of like the pineal gland and like calcifying and stuff like that. I also want to let you know I did quit soda years ago. The reason I have it now is for a couple reasons. One, I still live in this household. They've been buying soda here for years, and I just have not been drinking it pretty much. But because of the access, that's one of the main reasons I have it. Two, if you've watched anime, or if you know much about like respecting like people, it's like, or like, you know, like someone dies in anime and then they like drink a cup of sake, or they leave one at the place for them. It's kind of like that, only it's like about somebody who I currently know. So it's kind of like, earlier I had a cup, and then I poured one for them. So that's the symbolism behind this. Don't know why I wanted to tell you that. Then this is a bowl of mango. And then here we've got a orange-brown leaf. And I got my crystals over here. Ooh, if you're curious about my crystals, I'll go ahead and tell you. I've got goldstone, blue goldstone, serpentine. Pretty cool crystals, if you ask me. Lapis lazuli, and I don't know if you watch a series called Steven Universe, but that's a cool series. Fluorite, chrysoprase, a very personal one for me. They're all personal, but. And then we've got honey calcite, opalite, and aquamarine. And these are my first crystals ever, so that's why I wanted to tell you about them, because I'm like so excited. I've had them for a while now, but I'm just really excited about it. Also, I hope you don't find it rude that I like eat and drink in the middle of this reading. I felt for some reason guided to do this, but I'm not feeling guided to have music on. I don't know why. Even though I know like you love Willow, I love Willow, I'm just not feeling guided for music. And I love music. So, I hope this reading is going to resonate with you. If it doesn't, I won't be offended. I'll just kind of like feel sad that like I spent a lot of your time. But I have a feeling, I have a good feeling about this reading, yeah. Okay. Alright, One Piece Uno. Let's go. Ooh. Okay. Ah, dang. Here, let me... There we go. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And... Since I'm going old school. Also, I'm just making space so I can reach my keyboard. easily and do stuff. What I would do in the past for these readings is I would look at these cards online pretty much, and I would line them up on my computer. Yeah, this is going to be a very unorthodox personal reading, but I'm pretty sure it's cool. I don't know, I'm cool with it. Hopefully you are too. Okay, Queen of Swords is your first card. Is that a 6? Yeah. 6 of Cups, and those are in the reverse, by the way. Then, in case you're wondering what this card is, I think you can guess, it's Death. Okay, so we get Death. I don't need a picture of that one. Okay, 9 of Wands in the reverse. Knight of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands. Yeah, alright. Got a pretty good story going on. And unfortunately I can't show you the pictures that I'm looking at for this reading. I do have, like, you know, my my Wisdom Seekers deck, and I could, like, look at those, but it just, for some reason, I gotta, like, use the cards and the images that I went with. So, ooh. So, the way I feel from this first card. So, by the way, Josue. Oh, that didn't work out. But, boom, the, like, little accent mark. There we go. So, I like to spell out names. So, we've got Josue. And an extra card came out, so I'm putting the little accent mark. So, first with the Queen of Queen of Swords, I actually get with the picture that you were originally, or like in the past, basically this is like stringing together like a timeline is usually how this goes for my first deck. So I feel like you were originally sort of a very indecisive person, and at the same time, let me look at the next picture. Oh yeah, aww. Very, very indecisive, and it makes sense why you were so down to, like, give me some, like, a deck. But basically, you're a very giving person in nature, and also sort of like an indecisive kind of thinker. It's kind of like never, like, straight on, like, clear-headed. I don't know how to put it, but like timid almost, and like that included your thoughts. Like maybe you had a lot of anxiety before. That's kind of like with the Swords and the Cups, like, mixed together. I just hear anxiety. And then a big change happened, which Death is, you know, big change. I'm assuming this is your spiritual awakening, or even just some other thing. This can go back kind of farther too. Like, you know, for me, there were times where, like, you know, timid, this and that, and then you go through a change, and then you kind of go through those cycles. So I'm not necessarily sure when this was, but basically the way I take it is that in the past you were very indecisive and giving and stuck in your ways in the way that you gave. Like, you would, like, give to people who would kind of betray that love, if that makes sense. You would, like, people would be like, oh, hey, like, let's go eat, and you'd be like, yeah, sure, and then, like, they'd take your money and get food and then not, like, care, pretty much. Like, basically people who, like, don't necessarily deserve your giving nature, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I pick up with the Queen of Swords and the Six of Cups in reverse. And then what's beautiful is afterwards we get this big change. I'm kind of curious about what the change is. Oh, I see. With the big change, it's kind of like realizing enough is enough. And so you kind of got defensive. You kind of, like, put up a bit of a guard where you're like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done being taken advantage of. And it's like, I'm done having my, like happy-go-lucky thoughts, in a way, if that makes sense. Or, like, what's a way to put it? Just, like, you're, like, so gentle with your thoughts and your words, is how I would put it. And with your, like, and with the giving nature as well. It's just like this gentleness. It's kind of like after this big change, you're kind of like, okay, no. You put up a bit of a wall, a bit of a, like, I would say attitude, but, like, with attitude with reason. So I wouldn't necessarily call it attitude. Like, I don't know. I kind of resonate with that too. I definitely had an attitude of my own growing up, but again, I would call it attitude with reason. So I think you got this power of like, of, I don't know how else to put it. It's like, of like, not being a victim, but being like a survivor, being like someone strong. That's how I would put it. It's like you don't have, in a sense, anything to recover from. You're like, nothing's wrong. I have nothing to recover from. Like, I'm the best. Like, I've overcome this. Those people sucked. You know, it's like confidence in a way, but like in a sense, it's also kind of like, since it's the Nine of Wands in reverse, it's kind of like, it's that form of courage where it's more like putting up that wall to like hold back that like you might actually still be in pain. That's the way I take it. I wish you could see these pictures. And then let's see, Knight of Pentacles. But you know, it's like, what's beautiful about that, like about this sort of this defense mechanism that you've like built up of like confidence and like personality, and like basically it's like with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like you hold on to who you are. So like it's not like you just like suddenly don't have like your gentle thought. And basically it's like you didn't if you know about Steven Universe, you like didn't become like corrupted. Well, although I guess that word kind of makes sense in general, but like it's like you didn't let the past taint who you are. So with this change, you got to hold on to all the things about you, because I think maybe you're a lot like me, where you're able to face your shadow self and like understand that you have to love that side of you too. You have to love the parts of you that are hurting, because those parts didn't deserve that hurt, you know. Everyone's shadow self deserves like a big hug, you know. The shadow self, it just, to me, just looks like a sad like little kid. It just makes me really sad. I don't know if you resonate with that, but like that's how I feel about the shadow self. So with the Knight of Pentacles, it's just kind of like you got to hold on to all of that and hold on to who you are, which tells me that like this Knight of Wands, whatever type of defense mechanism it is, you're still your most like authentic self, I would say. It's like an example would be like an aura shield, you know? Like that would be a pretty good example of this. I think it's like this represents like, you know, in the past you're like, okay, people who took advantage of me, fool me once or twice, shame on you. But fool me 50 times, I won't be fooled again. It's like that. So it's kind of like, you have this confidence within you where it's like, yeah, that's not going to happen to me. And then just, you know, because of how life works, things will still happen, but like, basically, it's like you have this ability to never give up. You're always fighting. You're always going on. You're always moving forward. Yeah, that's how I put this. And finally, we get the Seven of Wands. Ooh, yeah, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of different factors that you have to keep into consideration. Since I've watched your video, to me this would be about like kind of your family would be one of those reasons. Maybe even the place you're in, I don't know what town or whatever, but like, you know, maybe your whole community around you just might not be at the same like high vibration, openness, and like ability to not shit on other people type of vibe, if you get what I mean. I grew up in a lot of schools where just like everyone in the school, like their strong suit was stepping over people or creating more competition. And I feel like if that's what your environment might be kind of like, then you're the person who kind of sticks out, because you don't really like all those aspects. You don't really like maybe want competition. You don't necessarily want to really fight anybody. But with this energy, because you know like you have to stick up for yourself, you will do it. You will stand up for yourself because you deserve to be stood up for. At least that's how I put all this. And I would say in the past, maybe you didn't stand up for yourself as much, but of course in the present, like now you're kind of this person who you really do that. And you know, just like with the past and just with the Knight of Pentacles, how you hold on to that. I think there are times where it's still difficult. There are times where you're still like trying to muster up courage to do it. So a good example of that would also be like, you know, telling your family about what you're doing and like knowing they're not cool with it and you might get kicked out. You know what I mean? It's like, no, don't necessarily like tell them. You know, obviously know your best judgment. So there's nothing wrong with these being in the reverse is what I'm trying to say. Basically the way I see it is that like all aspects of you still exist within you. That's why I love doing the One Piece Uno, because it's just kind of like a personality reading and it like talks about like a process, but it also says that that whole process still exists within you at the current moment. So yeah, with the Seven of Wands at the end here, basically it's like there's a lot of things in your life right now that might feel like they're going against you, but clearly with all this stuff going for you and this big change that really like did kind of switch up your life and like kind of like help you out, whether that's a spiritual awakening or just the realization that you gotta stick up for yourself, everything about you just kind of keeps you prepared for like facing the challenges that are in your way right now. Because I do pick up, like, this is not permanent. I'm sure you pick up on that too. You know, it's like you will get out of there, you will move on, you will get to a place that you deserve. Not sure how old you are. If you're still in high school, you know, that's a big reason to still feel trapped. Once you're out of there, it's like that's a whole like boom, you know. I don't know your whole situation though. Oh yeah, I'm hearing new beginning at the end of all this. This is the Ace of Wands. I'm gonna put up that picture because it helped me. Yeah, it's like there's this big thing that's like waiting for you, but it's so big and you can't like hold it because it's so huge. It's like you have to wait for yourself to grow to be the same size so that your hand can hold on to this giant wand, because the wand is like 1,000,000 times bigger than your whole body right now. So you have to grow into a giant, if that makes sense. The picture makes that make a lot more sense. But basically it's like, you know, right now, just like the reason you don't want to give a person a reading right now, you're still growing, you're still doing things. Which, by the way, I think you could totally do personal readings right here, right now. Your readings are, like, lit. They are really good. I like them a lot. I only discovered tarot cards back in January this year. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should even be doing readings. You know, I get all, like, self-conscious on YouTube because I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm a fake. But, like, I've kind of moved through that, and now I'm just always wondering, like, maybe people just won't resonate with these. But I do believe in the readings I'm doing. I hope this resonates with you. I'm going to move on to the next deck, because I really liked that last card. I haven't touched this deck since I got the Wisdom Seekers deck. It might have been 3 months ago now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've actually touched this deck. So I'm really happy that I did that. So thank you, Josue. Like, seriously, thank you so much. This actually means a lot to me, and you mean a lot to me, and your channel is really cool, and your personality is really cool. Oh, and then we get Luffy here, coming in hot. We get the world. You're going to see the world, dude. You're going to see so much. You're going to experience so much. You're going to get absolutely everything you want. This whole life is all just about manifesting and just about, like, really asking yourself, what do you want at the end of all this? That's the whole point of this journey. Figuring out what exactly is so worth it about this. What exactly are you looking for? Knowing my storage space, this video might, like, cut out. If that does, I'll just continue the second part. Hopefully you're chill with just, like, clicking the next part. I'm sure you are. So I'm going to move on to the next reading. Oh, wait! I lied. Woo! One Piece! Okay. We get Judgment. Yeah! Whatever you think you deserve it. Judgment, you know? Life is what you make it, so let's make it rock. Hannah Montana. It's just like that. That's the Judgment card, in my opinion. It's like... there's a really good card, but it's basically like your thoughts is what creates your reality, is what the card looks like. It's someone's deck that I watch online. I don't remember who. I think it's Mystic Moon, but I don't know the deck. Anyways, Yeah, it's just like that. It's your attitude and the way you see things that will help things manifest. So I'm sure you have a lot of clearly you have a really like good attitude about life. So with the Judgment card, that's pretty good. I'm gonna move on to the medicine deck. I know exactly what reading I want to do. Wow. Okay. That one. This one. This one. This one. This one, this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, where was it? Okay. So 7 cards. I don't know how much you know about this deck or about like spirit guides and things like that. But basically you have like 9 spirit guides according to this book. And it's like Native American cultures. It's like a lot of the different tribes kind of like put into one book. So, and then like they do say at the beginning, like this is not by any means like a definitive guide. It's just kind of like a general one. So pretty much you have 9 guides in all of the directions. I'll explain it real quick. So you have a guide to your east, to your south, to your west, and to your north, to your above, to your below, and to your within. And then those are 7 of your 9 guides. And so you pull 7 cards. And then there's 2 more, and it's like you can't pull those ones because those ones aren't in set spots. The last 2, the 8th and 9th spirit guides, are your left and your right. And so the reason why that is different is because east is always that way, but left and right, that moves with you, you know what I mean? And then above, below, within, you know, in a sense it moves with you, but it's always the same versus left and right, which does in fact like rotate with your rotation. So those are like typical ones. Are like if animals come up in your dreams, those are supposed to be your like left and your right. And left and right represent like the mother and the father energies. And so each side, each area represents a different type of thing about what your guide is guiding you in. So, in the east we have the crow. The east is about your challenge. It's it's the most fun challenge in the world, basically. And like I'm not being sarcastic. It's like that challenge that like you actually like that challenge. And so crow, I'm pretty sure, is about illumination. I'm already seeing it right now with like a bit of your background. Ooh. I want to talk about that card, but I won't. Oops, I skipped it. Yeah, it's about law. So the story goes that like the crow got so curious, it kept looking at its shadow and pecking at it until one day let me look at it. Until one day the shadow like woke up, became alive, and ate her. And then now crow is dead crow now. And so it's like a reminder to know that there's a law behind things. It's like this ultimate, like, knowledge of, like, how things go. If you... I was going to make a Game of Thrones reference, but it's okay. It's like... In other words, I'll just pull out a few words. It's like true faith is what they call it, true faith. Your own personal integrity, your own personal will, your own belief, your own truth, that sort of thing. That's what crow is all about. So, like, if for example if you were brought up in a religious household, they would tell you what to think, what to feel, or like stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. I actually didn't grow up in a religious household, really. In a sense, it was like atheist household, and my parents were pretty serious about it. So I grew up pretty shielded from spirituality. So basically this is telling me you were kind of like shielded from your own spiritual path because of your surroundings. And so that's the East. By the way I feel, so I've done meditations online where like you like go through this visualization and then you like get into this house and it's like, who's there? And that's your spirit guide. And I found that in mine, like the spirit guide I had, it was like this shape of an animal, but it was like a shadow, and it would always change forms wherever I walked around in the house with it. So like that taught me several things. Taught me, first of all, like this I have a particular imagination, but aside from that, it like taught me the way I feel about these. So like, let's say you got this deck. If you do a reading on your guides, you know, your East will be a different animal, a different medicine. And the way I see it, it's like that's the same East spirit guide that you have. It's just that it can change shape. So this by no means is like set in stone. These are like, you don't have to like write it down and be like, this is my spirit guide forever, like these 7 animals. In fact, this deck even gives you some empty cards. I'm too lazy to go get them, but they're behind me. But they're like, it's basically like the circle part is just like blank, so you have to like draw in your own animal, or you just write the name of your own animal. So yeah, just so you know. So anyways, I'm going to continue on. And then the most basically innocent thing about you, the like child within you, the part about you that's like, there's nothing deceitful about it. There's no, like, there's no way anyone could tell you that's fake about you. You'd be like, no, that's the most honest, innocent thing about me. And that's like your beauty. That's your grace. I don't even have to like flip into this one, but I will anyways, because I like this book. Okay. Grace. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I did. It reminded me of the story. Basically, the swan is so innocent, it like accidentally goes into the dream world. So you're probably somebody who you had a lot of psychic abilities or a lot of spiritual gifts, and you like didn't even know. Like maybe you like lucid dream a lot, and like growing up you just thought those were regular dreams, or like maybe you dreamt while you were awake all the time and you just thought everybody did that. If you kind of get what I'm saying, it's like there's some things that you could probably think back to where you're like, where you just thought those were like, that was what a dream was, or that was what this was, but now that you're looking back at it, you're like, that was a pretty special gift. Like, I really pick up that vibe with the Swan card, pretty much for anyone who pulls Swan. And then in the West, we get Mouse. West is about your personal truth, pretty sure. I'll go ahead and check just in case. Yeah, your personal truth, your inner answers, it guides you, it shows you the path to your goals. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, the Mouse is like about knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and see what I can grab from it. Scrutiny, yeah. Yeah, it's like you will like analyze. You want to like really understand. Ooh, reminds me of lyrics that I like to sing. Can you help me understand? Can you help me make a plan? Yeah, it's kind of like your personal truth revolves around like really organizing and really planning. It's just all about knowledge and like kind of like checking every corner, if that makes sense. Just like think about like what a mouse is. The way these kind of work, you just kind of like gotta like feel the vibe of the animal, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like how you can see a mouse, how like it like sniffs it, is like it does that thing with its like whiskers where it's like, you know what I mean? So to some, you might seem like a hoarder. I'm just reading from the book. But this is the farthest thing from your mind. You're just merely putting everything in order and putting things so you can explore it more carefully. Things like that. Just kind of like the vibe of how a mouse would kind of like be. So yeah, it's kind of like the idea of like the world is your oyster. That's like your whole personal truth. It's just like, ooh, you're like excited to like get out there and like experience it all. And then hummingbird is north, and north is like your conscience. It's kind of like that thing, you know, that whole like, ooh, I probably shouldn't say that, that might like hurt someone's feeling. Your conscience, you know, the thing that teaches you when to speak, when to listen, whatever. That's the kind of guide that the North is. Then you get hummingbird. Oh, and I'm pretty sure hummingbird is about joy. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe you have so much fun, you have so much joy. Aw, that sucks. You gotta like hold it in sometimes. Like being yourself, expressing yourself as of this present moment, maybe you can't do that as much as you would like to. So like for now, it sounds like that's something that's really important for you, is to like knowing that your joy has a time and place for it. As of now, I believe in being your most authentic self everywhere, but I also learned in my own path that there's a place for everything, and sometimes you have to keep certain things about yourself, not like suppress it, but like you just kind of like keep it in your head, kind of like when you hear like a joke and you're like trying to laugh in class, or like you're laughing in class and you're trying not to. I'm explaining myself, like I hear my teacher tell this story, or like it's a great example. I'm just gonna be real short. It has to do with an egg, and he's like, if you put the block and push it, what happens to the egg? It's supposed to not crack, and everyone in class is like, yeah, it's not gonna crack. But in my head, I'm like, it's totally gonna crack. So I'm like laughing, but I'm trying not to. The story makes way more sense when you're in the classroom. But anyways, I'm gonna move on. So lizard is your above. Ooh, that's interesting. Dreams. So above is what connects you to the stars, what connects you to like the universe. Of course you connect you, but like this is like the guide that helps you kind of like see that connection. So like an example would be for me, when I did this reading for myself, I got dragonfly, and so my grandma, she is very connected with dragonflies, and so now like when I pulled that, I was like, it's very true. I feel very connected to my grandma. I feel like she's still here with me. Like I know it because she kind of like pulled some pranks on me in like the spirit side of stuff. Like she's gone now, but like point is like that's how I felt connected. So I get the feeling dreams make you feel connected. So which is twice that's kind of come up. Once with like the swan, and another with the lizard. Also with crow, it kind of dives into a bit about that, like looking deeper within, looking past like just the physical and seeing that there's something in there, some like a trick, like a magic trick. It's kind of like when you watch people do a magic trick, you're like, I know you did that somehow, but how, you know? It's kind of like that. Yeah, this just gets really deep with the dreams. I honestly would read the whole thing, but they're all so long, and I'm 33 minutes in. But if you're like super curious about like the specific text, I'm a fast typer, so I could type each specific one in blocks and then like send it to you through email or something. Just let me know if that's something you want to do. But if you're fine with the messages how I'm doing them now, then obviously that's chill too. Oh, and it's cool. So it's funny, when this one came up, Crow, and I like first flipped the book, the very first page I flipped to was Raven, and I was like, oh man, I wish that was your card. And I finally looked over here, and it is your card. It's your within. Within you is literally magic. So that's really cool. I'm gonna go to the page. Where is it? Woo, there it is. See, I'll show you how it like looks. It like gives you the word, magic. And I accidentally drew a colored pencil on it, which just makes it feel more magical to me. They're just going to talk a bunch about magic. Deep within you, you're going to experience a great change in your own consciousness. Basically, you're like super aware, is how I would put it. And like you've earned the right, they have it in quotation marks. Raven says, you have earned the right to see and experience a little more of life's magic. It's like you've been gifted with these things because you have the empathy, compassion, and capacity, all that stuff. You're like deserving. It's like someone who like gets an award, like a medal. They get it because they deserve it, So it's like magic is within you because you were meant to have magic. It's kind of like chosen one, like in a bunch of series, there's a chosen one. They're always like, they go through their crisis and they're like, why am I the chosen one? And they're like, because you were meant to be the chosen one, not because you're forced to be, but because you deserve to be, you know, that whole stuff. And then finally, the below card, what keeps you grounded, is Eagle, which is your spirit. I'm going to do that card too. Well, let me look more into Raven real quick. Let me see if any words call out to me. They talk about an awakening. I think Raven, if you're super curious, that is one I would love to type to you and just like give you this whole thing word for word. Or I could take pictures of these and send those. I'd probably just type it. I'm like so lazy that for some reason typing these all out is less time for me than taking the picture. Which is not true. Like, I know the picture's faster, but I don't know. I'm kind of strange like that. Anyways, I'm going to move on to the Eagle because I really want to get to the third reading. And there's a good chance that this is going to run out of storage space. So I will just end the video and then just like upload this and then make a second video. I'm going to get to Eagle as soon as I can. I sense that the phone is just going to stop. Yeah, it's just spirit. So what keeps you grounded is spirit.